Hello everybody. I grew up in the States and baseball is a really popular sport to play. One of the rules in baseball is that you get 3 chances to hit the ball that is pitched to you. If you don't hit the ball 3 times, you are out of the game. You might have heard the phrase 3 strikes and you're out, and that phrase comes from the game of baseball. Now, why am I talking about baseball? Well, do you remember our friend Peter, who was a close friend and disciple of Jesus? Well, he kind of had 3 strikes at one point. Do you remember the time that he said that he did not know Jesus after Jesus had been arrested? Peter denied him 1, 2, 3 times, and it was like he had struck out and he was out of the game. Peter must have felt that he was off Jesus's team, that Jesus wasn't going to use him anymore. He wasn't a very good team player. But we're going to catch up with a story now that shows how something changed. Do you remember when we looked at the story of Peter fishing with the other disciples after Jesus had died and come back to life again? And Peter dived into the water when he saw Jesus on the shore. We're going to pick up on the story after that happened now.
After they got to the beach, they had breakfast together, and Jesus and Peter had an interesting conversation. Jesus said to Peter, "Do you love me more than these?" Meaning, does Peter love Jesus more than anything else in the world? Peter said, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my lambs," meaning his people. Again, Jesus said to Peter, "Do you love me?" Peter answered, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Take care of my sheep." Again, meaning his people. The 3rd time, Jesus said to Peter, "Do you love me?" Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him the same question a 3rd time. He said to Jesus, "Lord, you know all things, you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my sheep and follow me."
So why does this happen? You know, Peter had denied Jesus 3 times, and then Jesus asks Peter 3 times the same question, "Do you love me?" It was almost like he was making sure that Peter knew where his priorities lie, that Jesus came first. And because of that, Peter was able to go and establish the early church. And it also helped him in writing the letters that he wrote to the early churches, like the one that we're looking at today. Jesus also wanted to let Peter know that he was forgiven, that he was back on the team, that he had a really important job to do by telling other people about Jesus. This also encourages us today that we can't strike out with Jesus. If we believe in him and ask him for forgiveness, Jesus doesn't send us out of the team. He loves us and offers us so much grace even when we mess up. Right, I think I'm ready to bat again.